Oh, who says we're iyakin? Huh? You're not naman, di ba? I have to keep this light because, you know, Adrian is really a very jolly person. And I'm sure he would have wanted us to be all jolly, right, Roque?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Without being irreverent. But I'm sure we have a lot of other stories with your indulgence. Some of them, I hope, all good. Did you censor them? You sure? No? Maybe you'd like to hear some of them. If I can call, who's ready?
I am.
Can you please? Another classmate of ours, Robbie Mercado.
Hello, good evening. I also wrote this, and you'll find out why I wrote this. Adrian was certainly not the most gifted in the class. That was Paco. He certainly wasn't the most athletic. That was also Paco. And Adrian certainly wasn't the best looking guy. That wasn't Paco. Anyway, but the Adrian I knew was probably the most thorough person that I've ever met. He was diligent, he was studious, and he always seemed prepared. Be it for an exam, a new issue of the Ridge, which was our publication back then, whether it was for a football game or even a night out with the guys, Adrian was always prepared. And he obviously put a lot of hard work at being prepared. In school, he was always the one with the neatest and most complete set of notes. I remember very vividly that when I was suspended for a couple of months when we were second year high school, it was actually photocopies of Adrian's notes that kept me at pace with the rest of the class. And there was also one time when we had an unreasonable social science teacher who unfairly made us memorize tons and tons of facts and figures, which back then and even now I find so useless. It was during that time that, okay, we fell, we were weak, and we resorted to códigos. And mind you, Adrian prepared the best códigos in the world. Volumes, A to Z, all neatly tucked, and he distributed it sa aming scene ng aming polo baro. Paco talked earlier about Adrian in the football field and the famous Arta Buena. Well, I'm telling you, even in the football field, he was always prepared. Be it a practice session, be it a game, he always came prepared. You know, back then, wala pa yung ASCALs, the concept of strategy for the team was kick the ball forward and let the forwards run after it. That was it. Pinag-isipan yun. But not Adrian. Adrian always prepared. How did he prepare? He studied. He observed the opponents. Particularly, he observed and studied the moves of this famous Arta Buena. He noticed that Arta Buena excelled because when he was given a lot of space, he would just run you down. Adrian figured out that to frustrate Art, the trick was to crowd him wherever he went. And that's what Adrian did. Even at halftime, he was in the bench of So that was Adrian. He was always prepared. And even in the last few years, the last couple of years when he was already fighting the big C, in the few times that we were able to get together, you know, in Bertie's house or in Mark Puyat's house, or in the dinners that we had as a class, Adrian would explain in complete detail, in true Adrian fashion, what he was going through. He explained the ailment, he explained the treatment, and he explained the possible consequences, all in minute detail. It was obvious that he was prepared to fight his cancer. And he did this by arming himself with everything that he could learn about the Big C. I last saw Adrian in the hospital in St. Luke's last March 24. Ton and I went inside, and immediately Adrian greeted us with a smile, and he said, "Guys, I am ready to go." He said that he had just made a general confession, and as Paco recounted earlier, I think he went more than once. He had just made a general confession, and he told us that he really prepared for it. He went through all the commandments. He tried to remember all the questions that were drilled on us, the catechism questions when we were younger. He was determined to make a very good examination of conscience and a good confession. And I'm pretty sure he was able to do that. Goodbye, Adrian. Goodbye, my friend. We shall all miss you. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your example. Thank you for teaching us that it is not so much the result, but the struggle and the effort that really matter in the end. And thank you for teaching all of us, through your life, the value of being sorrow and the virtue of hard work. Thank you.
Now I'm wondering, I never got that código. How come? Never passed me that código, Adrian. Anyway, well, there's a lot more stories, heartwarming stories. We'd like to call Mike Mahua over to enlighten us about no more códigos, huh?
Unlike Adrian, I'm not even prepared. So, I was told keep it in under 3 minutes. Then I look at them; it's all typed and several pages long. So, in true Southridge fashion, we're going to wing it and make it. My teachers, our teachers over here. So, I was very fortunate to be given the chance to have spent a lot of time with Adrian in a lot of school activities that these two guys sent us on weekends. We would go off to Batulao because we had to be in journalism seminars for the rich. We spent some of our Saturdays in Manila Bank, making the rules of the very first Father's Day, which I don't know if these rules still exist today. See, he's nodding his head, he remembers it. Yeah, we remember you too, sir. At least they gave us lunch. But I remember, and everything, even our memorable quiz bee in Culyaman, where many of us met for the very first time the author Geoffrey Chaucer. We will never forget that, because even Adrian gave us that look. But we really enjoyed these times with him. But the one thing that always stood out in all of these activities that we went to was that the leadership of Adrian just stood out. And it wasn't because he led as a strong leader, but he led by example with grace and dignity. I remember the many times we'd get together and argue about the rules. Robbie was there. We'd argue about the rules and debate about it, and we're, ready to strangle each other. Adrian's just sitting and watching us. And after we'd go through that whole episode, we just all look at Adrian and he'd say, can I suggest something? And after he'd say something, we just all look and, oh nga, no. And he was like that in everything that he led us with. That's why he was always our leader. He was the natural leader. He was our managing editor in The Ridge. He was our class president. He led us in everything, and he really, that's one thing that I remember most. You could always count on him when he was leading us. Adrian, journey well. And I remember, I don't know if my Latin is still correct, but Opasi Graviora, David Deus spoke with him. Adrian, we love you, and we will never forget.